Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh. Welcome to Kerry's Kitchen. Good morning. I hope you're all well. This morning we're going to do a starter of chili peppers, fried chili peppers in batter with a sauce. What we're going to make ourselves. We're going to do a main dal balls with rice, vegetable rice, and we're going to finish off with a lovely gulfi. What we've got here, we've got ordinary red peppers. They're large peppers than what we normally get. They're not much, and they're not the big peppers that we get for when we do stuffed peppers. You can get these absolutely anywhere, again from your high street supermarkets. You can get them off the market fresh if you want to. Okay, very simple. What we're going to do is get your peppers, give them a wash, and we're going to slice. You can pretty much slice whichever way you want to. There's no seeds in these, so you know they're not going to be hot. So I mean, you can use as many or as little as you want, but we're going to use 3 today. Okay, so there's no seeds, we're going to use 3, that's more than enough. That's our chilies ready. What I've got here is gram flour. We use it for bogore, and you can use it for several different things. I'm just going to use a couple of tablespoons if you like, and I normally sieve mine just to get rid of any sort of lumps, and it just sort of finds it out a little bit. So just get a little sieve and just sieve through. Okay, before we get our peppers ready, we need to get our oil on heat because we're going to shallow fry these very quickly in and out. Your oil has to be piping hot. So what we're going to do is we're going to quickly put the oil in our pan, get that ready before we get our mix together and get our merja fried. Right, now we've got our gram flour in here. Like I said, 3 or 4 tablespoons, that should be more than enough. Sieved so it looks nice and clean. All we're going to put in here is masala and salt. Now this masala that I've got here actually comes from my village in India called Muai. I had it freshly ground out there when I went on my holidays not too long ago. So it's just the mixed masala. You can get this in most sort of Asian stores or even supermarkets now. So basically what we do with this, we just give it a few sprinkles. You can put as much or as little, but because I love it and it's from Hawaii, I'm going to put that little bit extra in. Okay, and to that, we're going to add some salt. Salt's going in. We're not going to add chilies for all obvious reasons. We're going to fry the chili. So that's all you need in there. Give that a little mix. Right, what we've got in here is our gram flour, a masala from Hawaii, and some salt. We're going to leave that in there, and we're going to add some water. So we add a bit of more water, give it a mix, because what we want to do is we want to get that sort of pasty consistency. There you go. It's a bit like your bogora mix, but without all the added ingredients. So you give it a good mix, keeping an eye on your hot oil, make sure that's not bubbling over. And we're going to keep it quite thick because it needs to grip onto the peppers. So as you can see, it's looking lovely. Completely mixed, no lumps. You can see the masala. The consistency needs to be so. If you can see, it's not completely thick and it's not runny, it's in the middle. So you get that kind of a pool at the bottom. Okay, we're ready to deep fry our chilies. Let's go. Okay, what we've got now serviette ready for when we put our peppers in and take them out, and we're going to start dipping our peppers into the oil. Now the oil is hot. Be very careful when you're using anything hot. As you know, it's hot heat, it's oil, can be very dangerous. Okay, so we get our peppers and we dip them into our mix. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to add all my peppers into the mix so we can get them all coated and covered. It's a bit messy work, but get stuck in, get your fingers all mixing everything up together. So we coat them. I normally tend to lift the bowl forward because obviously it's quicker. It's getting all our peppers coated. You've got to be really quick with this because one thing we don't want: splashes, time delay, and the peppers overcooking above everything else. Okay, so we add our peppers. As you can see, the oil is pretty hot. I'm going to put them in all together and sizzling away. Aroma is absolutely gorgeous. So be careful, and as you can see, the batter is taking form and sticking to the chili. Be very careful when you're adding your peppers into the oil. It's piping hot. Be careful the distance you keep yourself and your fingers away from the oil. Look at that. That is what we're aiming to achieve. This is how they should be looking. Fried red peppers. I say red because they're my favourite ones. You can get the green ones, but I find that the green ones are normally the spicier ones, so we don't want too much spice. The red ones are seedless and they're not spicy because we've added our little bit of our batter mix with the masala and the lawn. It just gives it a little something, but our sauce, what we're going to make with this, is going to have that little bit of a shebang. So now we get them golden. As you can see, they're sizzling away. Nice and golden. Just keep turning them over. You know, you're going to have parts where the batter hasn't caught the pepper, but that's perfectly fine. That is the look that we're going to achieve. That's what we want. So I would be quite happy to give that just another few seconds and say we can take those out. We don't want them crispy because one thing we don't want is the chili to get sluggish and look all sort of crumpled up. We want to keep them firm. We want to keep them crisp. There you go. I'm going to now take these out of the oil. I'm quite happy with that. I cannot explain enough to you. Be careful with the hot oil. It's piping hot. I mean, you can use absolutely anything to drain these off. There you go. Make sure you've got all the oil off because we don't really want oil sitting on our peppers. Our peppers are now ready. Look at the lovely golden colour they've got on them. One thing I will say, make sure you've got a bit of kitchen roll on your plate. It drips away any oil. As you saw when I was taking out the peppers out of the oil, I was quite shaking off the oil, and we want to make sure that all the excess oil is drained off. So your peppers are lovely and crispy, and they almost sort of dry to the touch. They are ready now. Let's go ahead and make our dip. Our peppers are ready and they smell absolutely delicious. What we're going to need with our peppers is going to be a complimentary dip. Now the dip is made of natural yogurt and some imli turmeric paste, what we're going to use. Very quick and easy, and it's a nice complement to these peppers. We're not going to use any spice because we've already got peppers there, so we don't want to get it all sort of spicy, too spicy. So this is very simple. We just take 2 tablespoons of natural yogurt. You can use any yogurt. You can use fromage frais, you can use sour cream, whatever you like, but we're using yogurt. Give that a mix. So our yogurt's all mixed up and it's not lumpy and it's lovely. If that's ready. Into our yogurt we're going to add a paste, and it's a tamarind paste. You can get this from most supermarkets, also known as imli paste. We only need about 1 little spoon of this. It's quite strong, it's quite concentrated, and it's got a fairly sort of bitter taste to it, so we don't want too much. And all we do is just mix. And it should go into a nice... When we don't add anything to this, we don't add no salt, we don't add no pepper, we don't put no masalas in, no nothing. We just keep this as it is, just with the paste. Okay, so the consistency should be like this. Not too runny, not too thick, because it is a sauce. So what we're going to do is we're going to serve this dish now. And we just take 2 large tablespoons like that, and we put our peppers on the side. And your dish is now ready. Enjoy. For our main, we're going to make dal balls, which will be served on a brown vegetable rice. Very quick and simple to make, absolutely delicious. So here I've got about 250 grams of brown dal, washed and prepared. This will serve, I'd say 2 people, but it depends on your quantity. If you want more, you can put in more. You want less, you can use less. What we're going to add to the dal is a bit of salt, a bit of masala, and we're going to put a bit of methi in with onion, and we're going to go ahead and put everything into the blender, give it a quick mix, and then it's going to go straight off to our pan where we're going to fry everything. So get yourself a nice onion. I'm going to use a red onion this time. Obviously you can use white onion, your Spanish onion is what we tend to use, which are more sort of popular if you like. I always tend to take off 1 layer of the onion skin. I know some people might say it's a waste, but it just gets me to more of the fresher part of the onion if you like. Okay, so what we do, we go ahead and chop. It doesn't matter how you chop this, big or small, because it's going to go in the blender. So we just sort of keep it chunky. We don't put whole onions into the blender. Be careful with these because they do make you cry. So just give it sort of irregular chops. Get that ready. Our onions are ready. Let's get everything into the blender. Get our blender ready and we start adding our onion. Just put everything in. Put a bit of salt and masala in. I mean, again, this is to taste. It's up to you if you want more, if you want less. But I kind of keep it in the middle. Put your methi in and your dal. Right, we're going to give this a mix. Okay, that looks ready. We're going to go ahead and fry this now in a little bit of butter. Okay, what we're going to do now, we're going to add some butter into our pan. Full heat again. And we're just going to use a little small chunk of butter. Okay, so you've got your butter in the pan, sizzling hot again, get it all mixing, and very quickly add your dal mix. This is one of my favourite dishes again. Very quick and easy to make. So we just pour the contents into the hot pan with butter. Scrub it all from the sides, pour it in, and there you go. Full temperature and keep mixing. You can, if you wanted to, add garlic, ginger, all those type of things, but we're keeping it mild. Because we're going to serve this with a vegetable rice, we're going to add a bit of flavours to the rice. So we're going to keep the dal balls on a mild flavour. Right, so what we do now is we wait for this dal to completely cool down. We need to give it at least an hour so it's cold and safe for us to touch. Then we take small sort of dough ball size amounts out and just make them into small balls. And what you should have then, something that looks like this. This is your dal ball, and it's a small, that's the size of it. And you just put the dal in your hand and just roll, and you should get that result. Now that our dal balls are ready, we're going to get our rice prepared. Okay, so pan's hot again. A couple of drops of olive oil. Try and be healthy wherever you can. You know, I use olive oil, I use brown rice, I use fresh vegetables wherever I can. We've got our vegetables here. These are fresh vegetables. I've got carrots, green beans, and I've got long green beans. And I've also got butternut squash, which is another sweetie sort of vegetable. It's one of my favourites. It's really nice and healthy. It's got quite an unusual taste, but I do like that, and I use that in my rice. So we pop our vegetables, fresh, crunchy. Try and keep your vegetables long, you know, they haven't got to be chopped and diced and grated, you know, keep them long, keep them vibrant, and I like them that they sort of quite visible in your rice. So your vegetables now should be slightly warm, and as you can see, they've got like a nice glaze on them. That's all you need. You don't need anything more in that. No salt, no masalas, no nothing, just nice on their own in a little fry of olive oil. So now we're going to go ahead and add our bowl full of previously cooked brown rice, and we add away. Slowly, carefully, add that to your vegetables. You don't need to do too much to this because your rice is already cooked. I'm going to say that is ready. Just to let you know, my vegetables were not pre-cooked. I just cut them to a size where you just throw them into the pan. You only need to heat them slightly because we do want to retain that little bit of a crunch to the vegetables. So we don't want them completely soft. That is now ready for our dal balls. Our rice is ready and we're going to serve with our dal balls now. So rice and vegetables. And our dal balls. They're absolutely beautiful. I'm really pleased with these. Right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut through one of the dal balls just to show you what they look like inside. So what we'll do is we'll just move that out of the way. And that is your dal ball inside. That's what you're achieving. You've got the methi in there that gives you the green, and then you've got the dal that sort of bind together and it gives you that sort of creamy look, the texture, with it on a bed of rice. Absolutely beautiful. From our previous starter, I did make an imli sauce with just yogurt and a bit of tamarind. You can use this as a sauce for this dish. It quite nicely goes together, so you can just have a little drizzle of this. And that goes quite well with this dish. There you go. to our dessert now. We're going to make kulfi, and for kulfi, 3 simple ingredients: double cream, condensed milk, and fruit. Fruit of your choice, again, you can have whatever you want on there. What we're going to do with the double cream and the condensed milk, we're going to use equal amounts, and we're going to go ahead and put in our blender and give it a mix. So we're going over to our mixer and we're going to add the 2 ingredients in and get them going. This time we're going to use the whisk because we're going to mix everything up. I tend to use these spoons. You can find these sometimes in little tins of dry milk powder. I mean, you can use anything. You can use measuring spoons, whatever you want, but I use one of these just because it's convenient, it's handy, and it gives me the right amounts. So I'm going to use 3 condensed milk spoonfuls. That goes straight into the blender. You've got your second one going in, and you've got your third one. So we're using 70 mils of the scoops, 3 scoops of condensed milk, and now we're going to use 3 scoops, 70 mils again of the double cream. So you add that straight in into your condensed milk. I think the last one didn't catch the 70, so I'm going to put a bit extra in. Okay, that's all in, and we mix. That is now ready. Okay, so the kulfi mix should look something like this. That is what your consistency should be like. Again, not too runny, not too thick. We're going to add the kulfi mix to our little cases. Now I'm going to use cup case, silicone cases. You can pretty much use whatever you want. You can use the tall plastic types. I'm using this because you get more of these, and they're quite easy to sort of remove and wash. So be careful with these. In the palm of your hand, get your little spoon and just pour into the case. You don't need to fill them right to the top. Just be careful you don't catch the sides of the cases, because again, presentation, we like things to look nice. You can do as many as you want. From this amount, you can normally get about 10. Okay, these are now ready. As you can see, they're nicely filled. We're going to put these in the fridge now for about an hour to 2 hours to set. Okay, we're going to check on our kulfi now. It's been in the fridge for an hour and it should be ready. Wow, that looks amazing. Our kulfi is ready, and we're going to go ahead and serve. So what you'll find, your kulfi will set in the mould, and you just slowly release it from the edges. Might need a spoon to just go around the edges just to loosen it off. What we're going to do, we're going to add some fruit to our gulfi. So just a couple of slices of peaches. You can have whatever fruit you want to, but I'm going to go for peaches. And we're going to have a couple of raspberries and some blackberries. A few more on there. And there is your gulfi and fruit.